So after watching the play, I tweeted out, after watching Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul on Angel Reese and the aftermath, there is no way Angel Reese can continue the lie that she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark. I know what hatred looks like. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark.
It was supposed to be just another WNBA game. You know, bounce the ball, make some layups, maybe sneak in a dramatic flop for the cameras. But no, Angel Reese had other plans. Apparently, she mistook the basketball court for a WWE ring and Caitlin Clark for a personal enemy in a poorly written reality show. Because when Clark breezed by her for a layup, Reese didn't just get fouled, she got possessed. The meltdown that followed wasn't just epic, it was Olympic-level emotional gymnastics, with enough side-eye stomping and post-whistle rage to make even a real housewife say, "Damn, girl, take a breath."
Angel Reese is so cooked, bro. Like, she's the most hateful WNBA player in the world. The most jealous WNBA player in history. And I find it funny, when you see this tweet here, Angel Reese karate chopping Caitlin Clark on a harsh foul. Caitlin Clark didn't even do anything. She just took it like a champ and worried about the next play. But over the weekend, when you see Caitlin Clark do a regular foul on Angel Reese, you get triggered. Like, what the hell?
Angel Reese drives to the basket, gets a little physical by Caitlin Clark, as basketball tends to be, and Reese, instead of brushing it off like literally every other professional athlete, decides that this moment, this absolutely routine part of the game, is the hill she's going to scream from. And not just a little, hey, that was a foul scream. This was full exorcism-level shrieking with a bonus accusation hurled at Clark like it was open mic night at the Delusional Diva Comedy Club.
Do you have an issue with Angel Reese's reaction to Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul?
Yes, and I have an issue with the way she reacted. I have an issue with the way it's being handled by her, by the Chicago Sky, everybody involved. I have a problem with it being called a flagrant foul. It's a take foul. It's an understandable. First of all, like, can we give the whole picture? The only reason Angel gets the ball is because she shoves Aaliyah Boston in the back, and Caitlin sees that and she's like, you know what? You're not getting a bucket off of that. I'm going to put you on the free throw line. And Angel acts as if, oh, wait a minute, you're getting your butt kicked. Let's settle down. You're getting your butt kicked right now. It was a take foul. You're going to the free throw line to shoot some free throws. Can we just stop?
Imagine getting fouled in a game. Again, part of the sport you voluntarily play for a living, and instead of handling it like, say, a grown adult, you launch into an operatic fit about how your opponent is crazy. That's right. Because when you commit a foul and get laid out by a solid pick or drive, clearly they're the problem. Makes perfect sense.
So where was this type of reaction last year when Angel Reese got chokeslammed by Alyssa Thomas of the Connecticut Sun? Y'all remember that? She got fouled so hard, they kicked Aaliyah Thomas out the game with a flagrant 2 foul. What did Angel Reese do? Nothing. She didn't get up and try to swing on her. You know why? The reaction was different because of who did it. And there is a lot of history there with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
But let's not stop at the meltdown. No, that would be too easy. We need to talk about how the WNBA, in all its wisdom, apparently put its PR team on DEFCON 1 mode faster than Angel Reese's eyebrows could twitch. Suddenly, the footage? Not a big deal. The audio? Mysteriously muffled. The reaction? Just passionate play. Right. And my uncle passionately throws furniture at Thanksgiving, but we don't call it a competitive spirit. We call it therapy in January.
You got the flagrant, Aaliyah, you got a technical. What kind of happened there?
Amy got the tech?
I know. Wait, what?
I got the tech?
I didn't know that.
Oh, first of all.
I know.
Let's not make it anything that it's not. It was just a good play on the basketball. I'm not sure what the refs saw to upgrade it, and that's up to their discretion after watching the initial whatever happened during the play and then whatever happened after. We watch a lot of basketball. It's a take foul.
The real magic trick here is how the entire league morphed into the Olympic gymnastics team doing mental backflips to protect Reese's public image. Any other player has a post-foul tantrum like that, and they're one tweet away from a league-mandated yoga retreat. But when it's Angel, suddenly it's context, misunderstood passion, and she's just competitive. Sure. And Kanye just had a rough week every week since 2016. It's not even just that Reese exploded, it's how she did it. The drama, the facial expressions, the pointy finger rage aimed at Clark like she'd just stolen her last fry. Girl, calm down. Caitlin Clark didn't slap your mama. She tried to make a layup. You'd think she'd insulted Reese's entire family tree and then set her shoe collection on fire. It was that intense, that personal. And yet, when the dust settled and the WNBA's spin doctors finished their shift, the narrative became all too familiar. Oh, she's just fiery. That's what makes her great. If by fiery they mean volcanic temper tantrums at the mere sight of someone playing better basketball, then yes, absolutely blazing. Fire extinguisher, anyone?
It's about that white player and that black player. Why? Because of the history that they had before they came to the WNBA. You see, it was all instigated. If Angel Reese was never in Caitlin Clark's face, taunting her the way that she did when mimicking what Caitlin Clark was doing to numerous opponents en route to the Final Four. And then Angel Reese and LSU bust their living, you know what, at that particular moment in time. And Angel Reese was in her face chirping at her the way that she did, it would have never gotten to this point.
What's truly hilarious here is how Angel Reese consistently acts like she's starring in an underdog biopic where everyone's out to get her. Sis, you're not being persecuted. You're just being outplayed. And instead of lacing up and letting your game do the talking, you're out here launching screaming fits like a toddler denied an iPad. Caitlin Clark, for her part, kept it moving, because unlike Reese, she understands that basketball is not a Broadway audition for most dramatic player. She got fouled, got up, didn't throw a tantrum, and continued playing the game. Of course, Reese's defenders are out in full force. She's emotional. Let her express herself. Look, emotional is one thing. Unhinged courtroom outburst after a travel call is another. You don't get to scream in someone's face like a banshee at a haunted house and then blame your zodiac sign. Sorry, I assaulted your soul with my volume. I'm a Scorpio. Number. That's not how this works.
Angel Reese is the foil for Caitlin Clark and vice versa. Like, they don't have to get along. They don't have to like each other. They're competitors. Like, that, this kind of shit happens. But every single time something like this happens, and we have to go right back to
full on.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't get moved at all. So, like, we're not talking about the game.
Let's take a moment to truly savor the irony of the situation. A player known for taunting others mid-game gets lightly jostled and proceeds to act like she's been personally betrayed by the universe. The same Angel Reese, who had no problem mocking Clark during their college rivalry, now expects the world to play soft piano music every time someone so much as looks at her sideways. How convenient. And then, because irony is dead and buried next to common sense, the WNBA issued statements like everything was just high tension and normal. What's next? Are we calling toddler tantrums intellectual protests? Is throwing Gatorade at a coach just hydration miscommunication? Make no mistake, this was not a one-off moment. This is part of a pattern. Angel Reese has carved out a whole niche persona as the I can dish it out, but if you throw it back, I call the manager type. And that's fine. Every league has one. But don't expect the public to sit quietly while she has meltdown after meltdown and then tries to wrap herself in a blanket of victimhood.
What are we doing here? It's a basketball play. And to your point, it's now become the most inflammatory thing that's ever happened in basketball. What are we doing? It's a simple and she said it's a simple basketball play, except obviously somebody gave her that line, can't take any more questions. I'm still hot afterward. I don't understand. Well, I do understand why it's become such a big deal, but if you're just asking me to diagnose and assess that play, it was a simple basketball play. You put that in the NBA, you think guys are getting ready to swing and fight? Hell no.
The best part of all this? The post-game charade. The forced smiles, the fake interviews, the half-hearted it's all part of the game lines. Meanwhile, you just know Reese is backstage somewhere throwing darts at a Caitlin Clark poster while yelling into a decorative pillow. Because nothing screams maturity like being unable to handle your own bad behavior. And let's not ignore the cultural gymnastics the league is pulling, trying to sell Reese as the face of the WNBA while sweeping her rage fits under the carpet. You can't market someone as a role model while they're out here screaming at opponents like they just keyed her car. Pick a lane. Either she's a villain we all get to roast, or she needs an acting coach to dial it down by about 15 notches. Even funnier? The moment fans started calling out the incident online, the Reese defenders popped up like whack-a-moles with excuses that would make even a flat earther blush. She didn't mean it. Oh, was she possessed by the ghost of Dennis Rodman? Clark started it. Yes, with a layup. The audacity.
The fact that Aaliyah Boston had to save Angel Reese from ending her career. This is a still shot. After the foul that Caitlin Clark put on Angel Reese tried to hit her. But if it wasn't for Aaliyah Boston putting her arms in the way, Angel Reese would not be playing basketball.
Honestly, if the WNBA wants to keep Angel Reese as their star, they might want to invest in more than just a fancy marketing campaign. Try something radical, like a team of crisis counselors, a dedicated PR cleanup crew, and maybe, just maybe, a weekly group meditation to help her channel all that passion into something that doesn't look like an on-court meltdown. Or here's another idea. Let her take a season off and go play overseas, preferably somewhere without microphones, cameras, or courtside reporters, because at this point, every post-game comment from Reese sounds less like a star athlete and more like an angry Yelp review with a personal vendetta. And it's moments like this, yes, again, that highlight the media's bizarre, almost gymnastic-level effort to never, under any circumstances, hold Angel Reese accountable for her behavior. When Caitlin Clark so much as breathes too loudly, we get 20 think pieces about sportsmanship and white privilege and how she represents a threat to the status quo.
Okay, so I didn't hear anything outside of the run-of-the-mill booing. But the WNBA seems content to follow through with this ridiculous investigation. Who is the WNBA going to let control their pocket strings, their pocketbooks? Because it seems to me like the new fans are the ones that's funding this whole league now. I mean, we make up about 70% of the fans overall. Otherwise, yesterday's game would have been watched by about 400,000 people, maybe. It probably got watched by what? Upwards of 2 million? I mean, does the WNBA want to lose Caitlin Clark fans? Because I think as much as people want to support Caitlin Clark, at some point, enough will be enough. And then the league will be right back in the situation it was in. The entire situation was started by this individual right here who seems to have their account locked. She hasn't proven or provided evidence that she was at the game yesterday. People who barely watch basketball or grid for engagement picked up on it and blew it up.
But when Angel Reese launches into a full-blown verbal assault in the middle of a game, complete with finger-pointing, eye-rolling, and what can only be described as Olympic-level pouting, it's all just waved off as competitiveness or unapologetic black excellence. Sorry, but being excellent at basketball does not give you a lifetime hall pass to act like the league's most chaotic teenager. No wonder people struggle to take the WNBA seriously. It's run like a high school talent show where the judges already decided the winner 3 weeks ago. You don't get respect just because you yell louder or stomp harder than everyone else. Respect is earned on and off the court. But Angel Reese seems to think that just showing up with a scowl and a storyline should be enough to secure her legacy. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, the player Reese is clearly obsessed with, just keeps showing up, clocking in, and doing her job like a professional. There's a reason the cameras follow Clark. There's a reason the arenas are filling up when she plays. It's not a conspiracy. It's competence.
They lost sight of reality. They lost sight of what real sports is about. The fans at the Indiana Fever game yesterday, they were being fans. They booed. They cheered. They screamed. They yelled. That's it. The Angel Reese fans, the old guard, the lowest common denominator that resides in the WNBA, the nose picker, the people that scratch their butt and don't wash their hands, those people saw that Caitlin Clark hard foul on Angel Reese, and they saw it as an opportunity. They saw it as an opportunity to do what they always do, make it about race.
You'd think Reese would have learned by now that you can't go around burning bridges while expecting people to build you a red carpet. But no, she's still out here throwing tantrums, sulking through pressers, and then acting completely blindsided when people dare to call her out. It's like watching someone light their own house on fire and then ask for sympathy because the heat's uncomfortable. Maybe she genuinely thinks every foul called against her is a personal attack. Maybe she believes Caitlin Clark is somehow orchestrating an anti-Reese agenda from the bench. Or maybe, just maybe, she's finally realizing that the Caitlin Clark Express is rolling forward at full steam, and she's not the main character anymore. She's the bitter sidekick no one asked for, angrily shouting from the sidelines while the real game moves on without her.
I applaud the WNBA for their statement. Got no issues with it. I get where both of y'all are coming from. Y'all 1,000% correct. I don't disagree with a syllable that y'all have uttered. But I'm not as bothered by this as most people. Let me tell you why. I'm not bothered by this because I love when folks are stupid enough to show themselves. You see, what we need to worry about. Remember, as they say, you can have cats in sheets. We see them coming. And they said, no, just take off the sheets. Some folks said, just take off the sheets. We just gonna put on a suit and infiltrate and look like everybody else. So ultimately, a wider scope of people can be contaminated because you don't know who is who.
And just when you thought it couldn't get any pettier, Angel doubles down. No apology, no accountability, just more huffing and puffing like she's about to blow the whole league down. Girl, you're not the big bad wolf. You're a professional athlete. Try acting like one. This wasn't a moment of passion. It was a tantrum wrapped in ego and sprinkled with insecurity. The kind of meltdown that makes you wonder if her agent keeps a supply of emergency stress balls in the locker room. Because at this rate, she's going to pop a vein yelling at someone for tying their shoelaces too confidently. So while Caitlin Clark keeps making plays, breaking records, and doing it without screaming like she's in a horror movie, Angel Reese will continue being the league's most dramatic cautionary tale. A walking lesson in how not to handle pressure. A showcase in what happens when hype meets reality and can't cope.
Nothing wrong with that foul. Angel Reese overreacted, and she overreacted, in my opinion, because it was Caitlin Clark fouling. I didn't even think it should have been a flagrant foul, frankly. It was a good hard foul.
It was a common foul.
I thought it was a common foul. And Angel Reese, calm down. Nobody got hurt. What are you doing? She doesn't want you to get the shot off. What would you like her to do?
She didn't hit you in the face. She didn't hit you in the face. She didn't push you in the lower back when you were in the air because you only jumped as high off the ground anyway. But he just came down and raked across her arms. That's a good, hey, I don't want to give up a layup or an and one.
The truth is, Reese doesn't hate Clark because she tackled her. She hates that Clark is just better, calmer, more composed. And unfortunately for Reese, America has a soft spot for the composed underdog, not the screaming diva who confuses competitiveness with chaos. So yes, Angel Reese's meltdown didn't just prove she can't stand Clark, it proved she can't handle Clark's success, and no amount of league spin or PR wizardry can cover up the tantrum heard round the internet. But sure, let's all pretend it never happened. Let's all nod along when the WNBA says it was just a heated moment. And let's wait patiently for Reese's next game, when her ego inevitably gets fouled again and we're all treated to another episode of Keeping Up with the Courtroom Energy.